My husband has fond memories of Sunday lunches at Patricia Murphy's or Lorraine Murphy's restaurants in Manhasset, New York. The family went to Patricia's for roast beef and Yorkshire pudding and to Lorraine's for her delicious popovers. What's the difference between Yorkshire pudding and popovers? Nothing really, it's the same recipe. But you eat Yorkshire pudding as a savory, served with meat and gravy, and popovers with butter and jam. To make Yorkshire pudding or popovers, you need only 5 basic ingredients. 1 cup of white flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs at room temperature, 1 cup of room temperature milk, and 1 tablespoon of melted butter. You'll also need a glass mixing bowl and a whisk. You'll also need a muffin tin or ramekins, tall sides, or you can put your ramekins into your muffin tin. But my favorite is a specially designed popover pan designed to allow the heat to circulate around the tin. And because popovers and Yorkshire pudding stick, you'll also need a good canola oil spray and butter for your muffin tin or popover pan. This recipe is so easy. You start by putting your 1 cup of flour in a glass mixing bowl. Add your 1/2 teaspoon of coarse salt. Add your 2 beaten eggs that are room temperature. All your ingredients need to be warm or at room temperature. A tablespoon of melted butter. And your final addition of 1 cup of warmed milk. Once your ingredients are all combined, you want to keep beating it until it's about the consistency and smoothness of pancake batter. While this recipe is extremely easy, all the success is in the details. My batter is now where I want it. It's nice and smooth. And now it needs to rest for at least 30 minutes at room temperature before it's baked. I'm generously spraying our popover pan because popovers and Yorkshire pudding stick so easily. And while our batter is resting, I'm preparing our popover pan with 1/3 of a teaspoon of butter in each cup. I've transferred my batter into something that's a little bit easier to pour, and I'm filling these cups about a half full. Then it will immediately go back into the oven at 450 degrees for 20 minutes, after which time I will reduce the heat to 350 and continue to cook for another 15. And at this point, once you're in the oven, do not open the oven door. Our beautiful popovers are ready to be out of the oven. As we took the extra time to really spray our cups and our tin before we added our popovers, they just slip right out so easily. The popover is an American version of Yorkshire pudding, the same batter, made in England since the 17th century. It's such an easy recipe. However, the success is all in the details. Remember your eggs at room temperature. Milk needs to be warm before mixing. Allow your batter to rest at least 30 minutes before baking. Spray your tin generously with a nonstick spray. Position your rack on the lower 3rd shelf and don't open the oven while baking. Whether you make this recipe as a Yorkshire pudding or as a popover, it's always a family favorite.